Hello and welcome to the CX Files for April 27th, 2023. My name is Mark Hillary and I'm in Sao Paulo, Brazil.
And I'm Peter Ryan, back in Montreal after 3 weeks on the road, Mark. It was an incredible trip to Central and Eastern Europe. Very rewarding from a professional perspective, visiting Tbilisi, Bucharest, Krakow, and Warsaw. Certainly a lot of great memories, some great people I met on the road, some spots I'd never actually had the chance to see before. And it's nice to be back chatting with you live from my home in Montreal.
Excellent. It's good to see you home again. And 3 weeks is a long time to be in different hotels as well. So must be enjoying some home comforts now.
Well, what I'm enjoying more than anything, honestly, is laundry and not having to pay $100 a pop to get slacks done or to have t-shirts washed. I mean, I'll tell you, the hotels I stayed at were all fantastic. I think really good value that I found in each one of them. But somebody has got to do something about this racket around laundry service in hotels. My goodness, I'm in the wrong business sometimes, I think.
Yeah. Years ago, when I was teaching MBA students, I remember one of the professors I worked with, he always had this idea about a laundry service, or it's more like clothes rental. So you would tell the app, I'm going to arrive in Bucharest this time, and I'm checking into this hotel, and they would deliver, suit and shirt and stuff that is all there ready to fit you. And then you just leave it behind when you leave the hotel.
Exactly. Well, hey, you know what? I could see something like that as anything to try and take that cost burden off of staying clean is very important. So your prof might be onto something.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, well, you did an interview while you were out there in the region, didn't you? So why don't you introduce that?
So, Mark, I had the pleasure of speaking with a really fascinating guy by the name of Marko Torovic. Now, Marko is the founder of NSourcing. Now, NSourcing is an outsourcer, but with a specialty in the management of luxury automobile travel. So effectively limousines. Now, his organization is based in Novi Sad in Serbia. I, as you know, was out in Serbia last year. I didn't get the chance to visit Novi Sad, but I certainly will be making that trip next time I come to that absolutely wonderful country. I got in touch with Marko because we've been LinkedIn pals for a while, and I noticed that he and his organization were making their presence known as exhibitors at a trade show in Las Vegas that took place in early March. Now, this trade show is with the National Limousine Association, and effectively, it was an opportunity for NSourcing to get their flag planted as one of the premier, if not the premier organization to support the limousine industry in the United States. And what I love about interviews like the one with Marko is it takes a whole area of the economy that I knew nothing about, and I feel like I've gotten an amazing immersion finding out what some of the nuances are when it comes to luxury automobile travel. We all talk about travel as it relates to airlines. We all talk about it as it relates to trains, especially in Europe. But nobody talks about this luxury element of the automobile industry. And Marko brought some real clarity on that. And it's easy to see why his company is making such a mark and why they're seen as a premier provider when it comes to limousine service. And don't just take my word for it. If you just take a look at his track record, did you know that NSourcing helped manage limousine, I guess you could say, comings and goings at the Academy Awards this year? It's just an amazing track record. And that's why it was so great to catch up with Marko to find out a little bit more about what's happening, not just in NSourcing, but also in the broader CX element around limousine management.
Yeah, that's incredible because you don't even sort of think that there is a need for this kind of service until you hear about it. And then it seems incredible that how come the limousines that are whisking people around Hollywood are being controlled by a company out in Central Europe?
Exactly. And being controlled and being logistically managed, it's just amazing to think about the global nature of what this industry is like. But I think it's interesting too to note that this came out of Marko's experience as somebody who was managing dispatch for a transportation company in Serbia, and he saw an opportunity. He seized on it, and his company NSourcing, as I say, is really taking the bull by the horn, so to speak, and really ensuring that they are out front and center as an operator of choice for limousines, not just in the US, but really looking to limousine opportunities from around the world.
Why don't we go straight to the interview and listen to you talking with Marko Torovic?
Fantastic. The CX Files is truly an international podcast. And one of the things that I know Mark and I love to do is to try and find people from different parts of the world that are not just differentiating in CX, but finding niche areas of customer management in which they can really stand out. And for that reason, today, we're really fortunate to be talking with Marko Torovic, who is joining us from his home in Novi Sad in Serbia. Marko is the leader of NSourcing, which is one of the premier locally owned outsourcing operations in that beautiful country. Marko, great to see you. Thanks for taking some time to chat today.
Hi, Ryan. Thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure to have you. And we really appreciate the fact that it's, as we're speaking today, after hours on a Friday. I think there's probably some rakia waiting for you somewhere, and I'm the only thing standing between it.
Don't worry, you're in my plans only right now. Nothing else is on my plans. Everything else is going to come later. So you're all yours now. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's dive right into it then, Marko.
Yeah, sure.
One of the things that I was really impressed at over the course of the past several weeks was the posts that NSourcing was putting up on LinkedIn with regards to the niche that you have found, that really interesting space around luxury automobile travel and limousine services. So maybe could you talk a little bit about this industry and why they're gravitating towards companies specifically in Serbia to manage these types of interactions for them, for their customers and for the people using limousine services?
So basically, this industry is huge. All of the major companies, is it a movie company? Is it a bank? Are in need of having a transportation for their CEOs and C-level executives. So basically, why do they move to Serbia? Serbia is pretty much in the fashion in this industry. Let's put it that way right now, because we have a high level of knowledge of English. First of all, you will find my level of English at the bottom line, probably in my whole company. They're almost full native level, and all of our agents are college-educated people. And there are people who had world experience. They were traveling all over the place, so there is no cultural barriers between us and any other places on the earth. So that's it. What it makes it so easy to adopt the way of thinking and the way of what kind of experience the client from over the seas are looking for, or anywhere in the world,
And I'm really curious to find out about how NSourcing found this niche. How did you stumble into this limousine and luxury automobile travel?
Well, basically, all started with me being a dispatcher and a reservation agent for one taxi company from Santa Monica. So we built on that. Later on, I was doing that with one of my friends. And later on, then I started to work this on my own. The biggest advantage of NSourcing right now, I can say, it's quality, flexibility, and experience that other competitors in this industry do not have. If you go on our social media pages, you're gonna see that we did live events, which none of other companies can say they had experience with. That is three things that are making us different, let's say, from anybody else.
And to my mind, some of the publicity that you were doing about the NSourcing experience when it comes to luxury automobile and limousine travel was just fascinating. And I'm going to ask you about this, but can you talk a little bit about one of the recent major awards ceremonies and shows that happened in the USA and how you guys were involved in it?
Yeah, sure. So one of the events that we did are Oscars. Everybody heard about it. So we did that over one of our oldest partners. I'm not going to mention their names, but they're with us for a long, long period of time, and they are one of the best companies in US for limo transportation services, and one of the best people ever I met. So we had that kind of honor to be on the event on the spot. And we were organizing more than 220 cars for all different celebrities that were attending the Oscars. After a couple of days, we attended the event of one movie premiere also in LA. And all that happened after the NLA show, which we were attending as a company, and where we got huge traction and huge amount of contacts that are interested in using our services currently.
That's fantastic. So just for full transparency, I was not up for an Academy Award this year. I was very disappointed, so I didn't attend. But maybe next year I'll be picked up by you guys next year. Okay, so keeping in the vein of the United States, now you recently had the chance to participate in effectively a limousine trade show in Las Vegas. I saw some of the posts that were being done, and it looked really exciting. Las Vegas is always a great time. But when you were dealing with the potential clients and the companies that are involved in the space, Marko, what are the key factors they're talking about in terms of their needs for customer service? What are the key customer experience drivers in this sector that you're picking up on in 2023?
Well, the biggest problem for anybody from US is to find qualified and eager to work personnel in United States. They get that with us. They don't lose any kind of quality. They get the huge flexibility, and of course they get savings on the pricing because we are much cheaper than anybody in US. Basically, the level of quality that they're gonna get is higher than one they're getting in the United States, and that's the main reason why they're outsourcing to Serbia. I know that there are other places where some people are outsourcing, but now we are getting even contacts from those companies that they want to transfer their outsourcing services to Serbia because of our level of quality. So quality basically and flexibility is everything to be there 24/7 for your clients. Basically, you can call me in 4 in the morning, in 10 in the morning, in noon, in the afternoon. I'm going to be always there for you to support you. And it's really good to know that you have somebody like that supporting your business.
Yeah, and that is very important. And I would imagine that considering the types of customers, the types of end users that are going to be using limousine services, they're going to have a fairly high standard in terms of what their expectations are about service levels of a driver, about being on time, about the cleanliness of the automobile. And really, what you're doing is you're acting as the first line of defense or even offense in this whole dynamic, isn't it?
Yeah, we do both. We are basically the offense and the defense. We are the middleman between the client and everything else. So everything that happens is going to go through us. All the needs of the clients are going to be done by us and provided by us. And we make sure that all special requests are obeyed, and the cars are clean, that the drivers are professional, that they are wearing tuxedos, that needed special requests are in the car, that the car is on time, and everything. And on the end, we follow up with the client. Was there anything wrong with the service? And basically, that's the whole scope where we are, as a middleman, the main responsible person are us, and we are making that service then complete, if you can understand me.
That does make a lot of sense. So, Marko, let's shift the discussion now towards, I think, probably one of the most important elements around CX in 2023, and that's technology. Mm-hmm. When you're looking at working with companies in the limousine space or the luxury auto space, what do you identify as some of the most important technology components that you can't be without when you're dealing with end users who are looking to engage with a luxury travel service company?
Yeah, so definitely there are many level of technical support that they will need to, which will make one company great. So definitely the system that company is using, is it integrated with all other reservation systems from where they're pulling their reservations? GPS texting systems, which are used often to contact the drivers and connect them to the clientele. GPS systems, which are helping us to determine is the driver actually on location or he's going to be late. If he's going to be late, so we can let the client know how long he's going to be late. So technology is playing a great part in it, but not as in maybe some other support areas like IT support or something like that. So it is big, but it's not that huge and important, because on the end the phone call ends all.
Yeah, no, I get it. I totally get that. And that raises another question when it comes to the level of service and the telephone call that somebody might be making, maybe to give a compliment, maybe to ask a question, or to make a complaint. Obviously, sensitivity is very important in terms of driving empathy with the end user and representing the limousine company in the best possible manner. Marko, what do you see as the ideal profile or the best profile of a candidate that will come to work for NSourcing to engage with the customers of the limousine service? What would they look like from an educational standpoint? Where would they be at in their life, in their life journey? What type of work experience might they have?
Well, basically, those are mostly younger people between, let's say, 22 and 32, who are college-educated people, who are really fluent in English, who travel the world and see other cultures, who are really eager to work and have ability to work. So anybody who was in airline industry, hotel industry, travel industry, any kind of customer support industry for Walmart, or worked in any high-end restaurants or five-star hotel, are basically the perfect matches for NSourcing and for this industry.
Okay. And would you say that the type of work that you're doing is in demand? Is this something that younger people with that experience, maybe in travel and hotels and airlines, they're looking to try and get involved with from a CX perspective?
They do, because we at NSourcing, we are doing things differently. We are not trying just to be one company. We take everything personal and we do a family approach. So every single of our agents, we are considering as family. So that's why we are trying not to expand too much, because then you're going to for sure lose the quality. We are doing baby steps with every company. We never go like 5 agents deep with any company. We do it one by one, and like that we can guarantee that the quality is going to be the same or better than they have in their home. So basically we take care of our agents and then they take care of us, because happy worker is a good worker.
I couldn't agree more. And I think that you have probably chimed the best note that we can end the interview on. So Marko, thank you so much. It's been great talking to you, and great to meet. As we were talking before we started recording, we've been trying to connect for ages, and we finally made it work.
Yeah.
One last question for you. If a limousine company owner is looking to work with a BPO player, how can they find NSourcing? What's the best way to get in touch with you?
The best way to get in touch with us is over LinkedIn or over our webpage or social media, or just to give me a call. It's that simple.
All right.
Just one message and that's enough.
Super. All right. Well, Marko, have a great weekend. Enjoy the rest of Friday, and we will talk to you very soon.
Thanks for listening to the CX Files podcast. We really appreciate your feedback and suggestions. You can reach myself, Mark Hillary, or Peter Ryan via LinkedIn. Please also leave a rating or review on your favorite podcast provider, as that helps more people to find us. As always, we'd like to thank Chris Haig at Traction Media for the CX Files graphics. See you next week.